What first got you into Christian hip hop specifically?
As I said, like I grew up in church, man. So I've always been listening to gospel music or Christian music. Actually, my first introduction to anything remotely close, because okay, so in Colombia we don't listen to rap music like how we do here. It's mainly reggae or reggaeton that we're listening to. But my first introduction to anything remotely close to Christian hip hop or Christian rap music was Kurt Franklin's Revolution. That was my first introduction. Like this was like back in the late '90s, bro. We used to watch. We used to get BET. Used to watch BET back then. You remember when that the video first came out, and
Yeah.
that was it. I used to like, and that came out on BET in between. I think it was Mace and Puff Daddy, Harlem World, and then there was another song that came out. I used to listen to Tupac heavy, Tupac, Biggie, Snoop Dogg, all of this back in Colombia, still in church and all that, but listen to it. DMX I used to listen to quite often. But then I heard this and I was like, oh, this is a church song. This is a church song. And then I came up here before I moved here, actually, 2001, I spent a summer in Texas working, and I got the opportunity to go and volunteer at a Christian conference. And that's when I was introduced to Gospel Gangsters, Tunnel Rats, Cross Movement, because they were popping back in the early 2000s, you know. So
Yep.
that was my introduction to it. So joining the whole concept of doing CHH and stuff, when I moved here, that's what I gravitated towards, because of course now I'm a Christian. I'm reconnecting with God and reconnecting, rebuilding my relationship, and that was what was popping here. Plus my wife, she was promoting artists, so I was surrounded by that, and then that's how I started writing rap lyrics and stuff. Of course, back in Colombia, I was doing reggae and reggaeton and stuff, but here, that's how I got introduced to CHH.
Just a quick little segue. I think it's interesting how well a what we would say a non-Christian, right, a secular, worldly, whatever program as BET, how well they always integrated, and even still kind of now, but not as much, of course, but how well they integrated gospel music into their countdowns. Now, some can say whatever they want to say about, like, they just, try to keep a little bit of church in their stuff or whatever, but regardless, they don't have to, right? Kind of like what you were kind of touching on earlier, the world is very clear about, this is what we're about and what we do, and we not trying to cater to nobody. And so for the Christians, it could be the same as well and whatnot.
Right.
There's different conversations there. But I thought it was interesting. And the fact that, like Nishiza says, back when BET and MTV actually played music videos all the time.
Right.
That's when you're an OG, when you remember just straight up just music videos. But
Exactly.
yeah.
I'll say this though, you can drop that Revolution song anywhere, anytime, even 22 years later, 24 years later, and that junk still rides.